And our favorite part of Fridays is talking to our guest here. I have a hard time figuring out how to describe him other than just all-time Kings icon.
Yep.
And I think that pretty much says it all.
That's a good one.
Yeah, the one and only Jerry Reynolds. Hi, Jerry. How are you, sir?
Hello, gentlemen. I'm feeling good. You know, I really appreciate that nice introduction icon. My wife, she's listening. She tried to vomit, you know, but I think she's going to be okay.
Well, Jerry, you should know Chris may not be himself today because he's a Vikings fan, and so he's hurting a little bit today. But I'm sure he'll be a gamer and get through this as best as he can.
I'll try.
Well, yeah, it's tough. But you got to remember, there's 16 more games.
Yep.
The Vikings, I think they're a good team, and who knows what's going to happen. Everybody, this. To me, I love the NFL, but it's about talent, number one, and health, number two.
Yeah.
And things can change week to week, as you guys know.
Yeah.
As long as Jerry believes in my Vikings, then that's all that I need. Why
He's a Chiefs fan.
Well, I mean, he's recently found success then.
Yeah, I am a Chiefs fan, but I appreciate. I think the Vikings are a good team. They're not Chiefs, of course.
No, I mean only one team can have the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. So it's okay. I'll deal with Kirk Cousins, and you enjoy that Patrick Mahomes guy. It's totally fine.
I will be a Chiefs fan as long as he's upright.
Yeah, that's a good plan. So there's 3 weeks left or so, plus or minus, until training camp kicks off. What are our coaches kind of starting to ramp up the practice schedule? Like, well, what's happening at this point for Mike Brown and his coaching staff?
My guess is they're just trying to get the guys in early and get them, playing, getting them in a little bit of pre-shape, so to speak,
right.
Get them together. The new guys, obviously Sasha, JaVale McGee and Jordan Ford. Guys like that, just get them in a little familiar with really a veteran, happy team, so it's really, I think probably a very easy, comfortable time for the coaches and team right now.
Jerry, I know that you and I, we've had many discussions, especially over the last year or so, about load management, and the league instituted a new policy that's going into effect this year. Did the NBA need to do something about quote unquote load management right now?
Yeah, they really did, I think. And I don't know if it's going to work, but I certainly appreciate and credit Adam Silver for trying to do something. We'll see how it goes. I wish, the players union would come out with something themselves, and the coaches, feel more obligated to try to get guys out there because, they are kind of obligated to play if they're healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Jerry, so load management wasn't really around when you were coaching. And was that because the players themselves really wanted to play in games, or was it because the coaches were essentially telling them, like, I don't care if you're barely hurt, like, go out there?
Yeah, I think a little bit of all that. I think the guys then just really did feel an obligation to play when they could, and, didn't feel like they had to be 100%. It's one of those things now. It's like, well, players are told really from a pretty younger age now, that if you're not right, don't go out there. And that just wasn't the case back in the 80s and 90s. To be truthful, guys played hurt. Always remember Mike Woods playing on a bad knee for half a year. First year the team was in Sacramento, just so the team could make the playoffs. That type of thing, I don't know that would happen anymore. So, I'm for guys taking care of themselves. Don't get me wrong. I think probably a lot of players probably shouldn't have done some of the things they did to play. But then again, it's better than guys doing everything they can not to play.
Jerry, assuming that the league does here with this policy that has some teeth, some impact, and more of the veterans play more than they have the last couple of years, could that perhaps help the Kings because they're in the same division as the Suns, the Lakers, and the Warriors, three teams that figure to be affected if their veterans have to play more than they've been playing?
Yeah, that's a great question. Obviously I don't have any really insight. It's kind of a new thing. I would think in the long run, if I were the Kings, I think their players, we know play.
Yeah,
Anytime they can. They've got some real terrific guys, talents that want to be out there. They've proven that. And some of the other teams that they're competing with, I'm not sure do. So it may hurt them. They'll have some of those star guys play a few more games, probably.
Yeah.
And that could make it tougher in the West, I think.
Jerry, we might have asked you this question before when this was more of a hot button topic, but it seems to have come back up. The Warriors and their backcourt, their starting backcourt, more importantly, it seems like Chris Paul is going to start in that backcourt, but there's a lot of questions on whether or not he would be better suited coming off the bench. Me and Whitey talked earlier about how Andre Iguodala really made a statement for the Warriors culture in the past when he decided to come off the bench when he probably could have still been a starter. Do you see Steph and CP being able to coexist pretty seamlessly?
I do. And I've kind of said this before. I really think, that it's a great pickup. Obviously, he's not quite the same player, but I think the Warriors are a little older team. I don't think they can play at the same pace they did before. Mm-hmm. And probably, having a guy like Chris Paul will get them into half-court sets much better. Right. And they'll need to do that. And so I'm not surprised that he's expected to start. I mean, I don't know why you'd get Chris Paul really otherwise. Right. But yeah, I'm not happy about it because I think it'll actually make them better. I really do.
To me, Jared, where he really could make them better is they throw the ball all over the place. Even when they're winning championships, they do that. And he does not turn the ball over. And I think that alone is really going to help them.
Yeah, that was really the Warriors' biggest weakness was turnovers. Assist-to-turnover ratio was really at the bottom. And as you said, Chris Paul, he just doesn't turn it over. He's a, 6 assists to 1 turnover kind of guy, and just at the best all time. So, yeah, I think he's probably got another good year. But I think probably for him and the Warriors, health is still maybe the biggest question of how good they are going to be.
Before we let you go, Coach, and we, as always, appreciate your time. We threw this around yesterday because Jimmer's coming to town for a 3-on-3 tournament. I don't know if you knew about that, but we broke up some Kings teams. We have 4 teams, 3-on-3. So on one team we had, if you had Mitch and Theus and Thorpe, that's one team. You had Boogie and Gay and Isaiah Thomas. You have Weber and Peja and J. Will. And then you had Monk, Sabonis, and Fox, and they have a tournament. What's the best 3-on-3 team of those 4 teams?
Well, the one I'd want to see was Weber, Peja, and J. Will. I'd pay some of my hard-earned Social Security money to see J. Will again, and I think with Webb, he'd still be the best player of the bunch.
Yeah, and Page is probably the best shooter of all those guys, right? And that would make a huge difference.
Oh, I don't think there's much question about that.
All right. Jared, enjoy football this weekend. Good luck to your Chiefs. Hey, Jacksonville this weekend. Tough one for your Chiefs.
It's a statement game. If the Chiefs lose go 0-2, of course the season's over. We all know that, right?
Exactly.
Thanks, Jared. We appreciate it. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care, guys.
You too. All-time Kings icon, the greatest, Jerry Reynolds.
Yeah, every time I walk through that Jerry Reynolds media entrance, I'm like, this guy just,
I know.
He's got his name up in the rafters.
He loves you.
It's incredible.
He told me one time, he said, Chris seems like a nice guy.
And I said, yes. Seems.
Don't watch the Vikings game with him.
Yeah, exactly. God.
All right. Bold Kings predictions of the day.
Let's do it.
I've got probably, boldest yet.
I love
boldest yet.
Today?
Yes.
After yesterday?
Yes.
I can't wait.
Can't wait. What's next? Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.